challenge you guys. Next time you guys go out to eat, take your spouses out to eat or something like that, right? When the waitress comes up to the table, just, she's all eat today's specials, the soups, this, and that. She's going to tell you all kinds of things. You turn to her and say, how are you doing today? Oh, I'm doing it. No, not how's your work. How are you doing today? And just really focus on her, on that one question. And compare that service to the last service you got when you went out to eat. I bet you she comes by your table more than anybody else in her section because you focused on her directly, right? It's that simple of an effect. Gas, right? It's great.
Thank you for sharing. All right, read the next line. Who wants to read that?
If people didn't see the value in cars like BMW or Mercedes-Benz, they would just buy something affordable like a Kia.
Bronson, why didn't you buy a Kia?
It's not enough status.
Oh, no.
Because I love German cars. They're still better. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I didn't buy it from a BMW dealership. I went somewhere else. I bought a used car, but still I have different expectations.
I'll tell you, I've never really ever sat in a BMW before. When Bronson first got it, he let me check it out. Dude, I was impressed. This thing has like seat belts that come at you. I'm like, Kia has nothing on this. I'm like, this is cool. It's a cool car. I mean, so thank you for
I
sharing.
do want something that lasts as well. That's something,
Something to last.
Yes, but Kevin, when you have 7 kids, can you afford a vehicle?
No, I would probably buy a Kia minivan. I see the value in a Kia minivan because I have 7 children. So therefore, the value for me is there, and the price point is there because I have 7 kids. And can't
If you had
afford
the chance, though, you would go
now,
with
if
something
they had a
that good bonus.
BMW minivan that was actually really cool looking and I could afford it, I probably would buy that.
Upgrade.
You
Maybe.
can buy a Volkswagen, man.
Volkswagen, yeah, who knows? All right. Who wants to read the next one?
The next time you're given a hard time about your high prices, don't give in or give up.
Don't give in and don't give up. When we're dressed, and I want to show of hands openly, when someone brings up the pricing issue, how many of your stomachs just drop?
I hate it.
Right? You're like, oh, God.
It doesn't happen that often.
It's hard, right? It doesn't. But go ahead.
Who agrees with the customer when they say they're too damn expensive? Who says absolutely you're absolutely correct?
I know, because Comcast is
Way more
pretty
than we are.
competitive. And
I say it every single time. In fact, I tell the customer, I was like, listen, we are not the cheapest. We're probably one of
I
the
see
most
that too.
expensive.
Yes.
But here's why. And then I explain why we're more expensive, why our products are better, why me, you, everybody in this room, why we are better when we come to your home.
More recently, I've been getting a lot of people coming to DirecTV from Comcast because Comcast is so expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, and their customer service is terrible. Yeah.
But flip it the other way. Why do people leave us? Because they'll get a better deal somewhere else.
But
right?
we get a majority of those people back.
We will. And then they'll leave again, and they'll go back, we'll leave again.
Because we get that all the
It
time.
costs us a fortune. So we really need to emphasize why they need to stay with us. It's not because of our price, we're not cheaper. They could get HD at Comcast, right? Why are we better? It's in this room, right here. I will stand behind every single buddy in this room over any other company's technician any day. I don't care who you are. I want you guys. So.
Ultimately, Bronson summed it up. You explain the value, right?
Because half the time they're talking because somebody else complained. And they just co-sign. Show them the value, educate them, so they can stop complaining about the price. And realize that they have this,
I'm going to play something for you.
Hell, a bad one.
yeah.
I want to play something real quick for you guys.
The monthly is way too expensive. The monthly fee that you have to pay is expensive. It costs too much.
All right. What do you think she rated us overall to recommend DirecTV to friends and family? A 0?
5 maybe.
A 5?
8.
A 10? An 8? What else? Anyone else? No? It was a 9. She left that verbatim and it was a 9. You want to know why? Because the technician who was at her home recognized and reached out and asked questions on how to handle a specific situation. and was able to show her the overall value. Although she wasn't happy specifically about the cost, she saw the value, and she still rated the guy a 9. It can be done. All right?
I want to give kudos to calling and asking for help.
Yes.
That's something a lot of people don't do because we're professionals and we think we can handle it, but there's more minds meet, you get better ideas. And as Seth was saying earlier, you may have 100 surveys and that gives us a leeway of 10, but it really doesn't, right? Because we're shooting for as high as we can be, the best that we can be. So just imagine out of those 10, how many times we call for help, we don't get that guy, right? We get somebody like her. So if we call for help when we recognize those issues, such as maybe this technician here, we can get 8 out of those 10 that we're kind of just putting out there as, able to lose.
Thank you. And Tom, thank you also for calling for help. Seriously. That was cool.
Good job.
Good job. Give me a hand.
That's great.
All right. Now the next stuff, weekly info. So what I did was, and you guys can see this, I'm going to shoot this out to you later. I broke down all our work order types. Here's your MPS overall. Here's how many promoters you're going to actually need to basically hit the 90 mark. As you can see, some of these are high numbers and they look deceiving. You're like, oh my goodness, how am I going to be able to do that? You guys can do that. We're still early off in the month. Now, if you come down here, I broke it down as well by work order types. As you can see, we only had one former. Most of these are actually upgrades and a few service in between. The 2 service that we had was pricing. Verified pricing issues. Okay? When you're on a service call, a lot of customers aren't happy about pricing. In fact, that they're already upset because their service went out. We gotta wear white gloves pretty much on all of our stuff. Treat them like a new install. Go the extra mile. Don't ever assume that they know everything about the system. I mean, how many times have you guys rolled on a service call and most of the time the people didn't know they had that feature?
Yep.
Mike.
What? Sorry.
No, you're fine. How many times have you rolled on a service call and there's some features that the customer had no clue they had?
Happened the other day.
Yeah? Let's talk about it.
Well, they had it, but they didn't know they had it.
What was it they didn't know they had?
Man,
Yeah?
they had missed Game of Thrones was the big one.
Yeah.
And I just walked up to them how to get to what they had missed. And then you showed them how to quick do it, which I didn't know about that part either.
You learned something new, right?
So
How do you think that customer felt?
she was ecstatic because I fixed her direct TV. Only showed her the other stuff.
Just a quick do it feature.
Guys,
Plus sign on the-
plus sign, you do it all the time. Yeah.
I didn't know about
So
it.
one thing that he didn't pick up, because he was in the process of explaining the customer stuff, is the wife says, "Oh, I guess we got to tell Dad that we're going to get it," and she was pretty upset. The daughter was already, "Oh, I already told him." They were mad. They were upset that they lost their Game of Thrones because their service was out. But as soon as he showed them where to find it and how to retrieve it from that on-demand, man, she lit up like that. She was like, "Thank you so much." It's crazy how a show means so much to these people. Sometimes people build emotional bonds to TV shows.
Because they can get lost in it.
They get lost in it, yeah.
Shove away all their emotions and just get lost in a television show.
So
Because
think,
that's the problem, right? The problem isn't the fact that their DVR or whatever's out there. The problem is that they miss their favorite show.
Yeah.
So to recognize the problem is what we're there to do. That's huge.
yes. People build, it sounds crazy, people build emotional bonds to shows. As crazy it may sound. So of course they're emotionally mad when you roll on a service call. The unexpected, like you said before. You're walking in there, they're expecting that they're not going to retrieve it. Guess what? You showed them how to retrieve it, you wowed that customer, oh man, yeah, I will recommend DirecTV. You showed value.
So the
Thank you.
takeaway was, if somebody loses their service, ask them what show did they miss. See if you could try to retrieve it. Help show them how they can retrieve it.
I was gonna say, I show a lot of my customers how to switch to standard. Like I tell them, just tell them
Yeah.
the way that our HD signal comes down, if bad weather, it can get distorted easier. So you can switch to standard. You may not get your HD quality, but you'll still be able to watch your show.
How many of you guys do that on new installs or when you're just in generally out talking to customers?
Totally depends on if the person is tech savvy.
That's-
Totally
that's
depends
very
on the
I
person's
will
tech
not
savvy.
tell an old person how to change that.
That's my wife's favorite feature. Like she loves it. Like she's so happy she knows how to do that.
Yeah, I play that person by person.
Bronson.
So what's going on in the next couple of weeks for those of you with kids?
Graduation.
Yeah. They're coming back home. Kids are gonna be home all day. If you have little ones. So you walk into a situation where they're completely out of service, which we have a lot of service calls right now. Service calls have more than doubled in the last week.
Is that because of the weather?
It's possible, but you know, starts to make us think, you know, what can we do better to reduce that next time, right? But going back to my point is, what can we do when you have that mom that's at home with her 3 little kids and they're driving her nuts and her service is completely out? What can we do immediately? On demand?
Maybe on demand service in India?
Yeah. On demand, what if they have a tablet or a laptop? Get those kids set up with some cartoons, say, hey, you know, here's some cartoons, let them watch this while I'm getting everything working for you. Give that mom a break, right? About that stuff.
Right. Good.
One of the things that I do with the military a lot is they don't know when they move that they still watch the content on the DVR.
Yeah.
They're gonna move again, so I let them know, hey, you move and you're in another state, you plug in your DVR, you can watch everything that's recorded. You don't have to have the satellite to watch it. I'm like,
Right.
they love it.
I love it. Well, thank you guys all for sharing. These are some great ideas. Let's use them. And let's touch base next week and let's see how they work out. We'll kind of watch our service numbers. Also, while you're out there, and since Bronson says that we are making sure we're actually noting our accounts, I've been looking at several of them. And thank you guys for continually putting the notes in. They're a big help.
Yeah.
They're a huge help. So thank you guys. Especially now that we're coming into the rainy season, we need to know what's causing those. For sure, for sure. I mean, if it was a loose dish or a bad mount, hey, put that in there. We need to talk to that and make sure that doesn't happen, setting the next guy up for failure. So I'm going to speed this up. We're kind of running short on time. I know we're long-winded. We're back to 5 days this week. As of May 19th, you guys, the access for your caddies, all the trouble issues that are going on within the system or known issues will be listed in your actual handheld devices. Chronos training for the week of 5/25. We will be doing that, I believe, Thursday for our huddle days. You guys will come in, you'll do your huddle, and then we'll be in training for your actual digital timekeeping on your Chronos. Memorial Day coming up. Need some volunteers. Anyone who would like to volunteer? Anybody? If you're not sure right now, you need to check with your significant others. If you have any plans, do it. Get back to me by the end of the day so we can figure out if we can get a volunteer.
Sounds like the weather's gonna be a little chilly, so.
Yeah, and we're available. We are able to. Correct. Do either? Okay. All hands next week. Don't forget, we actually have an all hands next week. Next Thursday, right? It's Thursday, 6:30.
So we have all hands and then the Chronos training?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, no, the 28th. Next week.
They're a week
It's
apart.
the week after.
Oh, yeah.
Chronos is the week after. All right. You see, that's it, guys. Wilo for the day. Arnie, I'm going to hit up with you, Mr. Mike Kuhn. Today is actually tomorrow. Darius, got to find out if he's actually on PTO. I'm going to hit him. Tom, Jesse on Sunday. Mike and Bill on Monday, and James again, Mr. Kuhner on May 20th, which is Tuesday. Thursday, no one-on-ones today. Arnie, if you could be here tomorrow by 6:30, we got to follow up for next, all your one-on-one from last month. Jeremy, 6:30 here. Mike Connor, 6:30 on Monday, please. And Mr. Kuhner, 6:30 on Tuesday. Any questions? One-on-ones. Your one-on-ones. We'll talk offline. You look confused. All right. Dan, you have something?
Just a reminder, Tom Storm, Mr. Connor, Mr. Kuhn, Mr. Fisher, and Mr. Albright all have to do their counts this morning.
Okay. Perfect. You guys have anything else? Do you have anything else you want to say? Tech to tech? Any tech to tech? Anything? Nothing?
Brought me a L&B yesterday. Helped me out quite a bit.
I want to give Steve a hand too. Thank you, Steve, for all the help you've been doing in the shop and then also helping me out as well.
No worries.
Eric, thank you for helping us as well too. I mean, you've been awesome. Thank you all, you suit, for helping me on my days off as well. All right, well, let's bring it in. Top dog. Ready? Where you guys at here? I know we ran late. 1, 2, 3. Top dog. See you guys. Don't forget paperwork, please.
Another one?